short while back, we tell you how India is spending. Let's take that theme forward and tell you in specific how India holidayed this festive season and how they're likely to do that over the course of the next month as well. Joining us right now, Devendra Parulekar, the founder of SaffronStays, and Rajesh Magow, the group CEO at MakeMyTrip as well, joining in this morning. Gentlemen, hi, good morning. Good to have you on the show. Rajesh, let me kickstart the discussion with you, because if the scenes from the Mumbai and the Delhi airports over the weekend, or the previous one for that matter, were anything to go by, it seems like just everyone wants to flee and make use of the long weekends. What's the data at your hand telling you? Because internationally, there are barely about 2 or 3 destinations which can travel to. I'm guessing inbound travel would have hitched or, touched an all-time high, perhaps.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We've had a great start of October, actually building on the momentum from August, September as well. But since you mentioned about the long weekend, let me just give you one number at least that we saw. We actually saw a record, number of check-ins on our platform, over 90,000 on 15th of October. And we've had many leisure cities, leisure destinations sold out practically. Yes, it's been great. It is obviously all domestic right now. Like you rightly pointed out, international travel is just very, very small. It's just led by 2 destinations, which is Maldives and Dubai. Largely Maldives. Maldives actually have been doing really, really well. And that's partly because there's no real other destination that's really opened up, which is more hassle-free. Even Dubai, you have to go through few tests and so on. So Dubai is picking up, but Maldives has been rocking for some time now. In fact, on our platform, we've done Maldives booking numbers, much more than pre-pandemic levels already. But largely that is because, there are other options. International destinations are not necessarily, fully opened as yet, as we all know. But domestic leisure destinations as well as VFR, thanks to the festival period, these are the 2 segments that sort of leading the travel bounce back. And it's clearly revenge right now. I'm sure you would have seen revenge buying. There is clear revenge travel that seems to be happening. And maybe I can just tell you one more data point. So we've been doing regular consumer sentiment survey on our sort of consumer base regularly from March or April 20 onwards on a monthly basis. And we've seen some tremendous improvement on the overall consumer sentiment now for travel. Back in the days in April 20, it had dropped to minus 40. This was a consumer sentiment rank, which is essentially the travel enthusiasts minus the travel detractors. And that was minus 40 during the second wave. May 21, it was minus 20. And in October, the last report that I saw was positive 20, which effectively means that you only have about 25% who are still sort of thinking whether they, maybe sitting on the fence, whether in terms of just having travel in their consideration set. But about the bulk now, about 75-80%, specifically for leisure and VFR, are definitely out there traveling. Business travel, however, is slow, especially for the large corporate. But again, small and medium enterprises, business travel seems to be back as well. So all in all, a great start. Fingers crossed for, I guess, post festivities. We are all hoping that everything goes well and we don't have, any of the third wave, or if it comes back, it should be of low intensity.
Yeah, fingers crossed in that as well. Devendra, I'm going to come to you in just a second. But Rajesh, just to take that point forward, while internationally, clearly because of the restrictions of getting an RT-PCR at the airport as well, it's clearly Maldives which is being favored as opposed to Dubai. But when it comes to India, where are Indians traveling? Which are the destinations which are seeing the maximum influx?
Well, it's now sort of ranging between hill destinations. So you will have Uttarakhand hill destinations. You will have HP hill destinations. You actually have J&K, Kashmir was sold out in the last time, and despite this disturbance out there again, unfortunately, but the tourists are out there. I mean, yeah, and disturbance hasn't really caught up with the consumer sentiment yet. I hope it continues that way. But J&K was very preferred, very strongly preferred destination. We also have Goa picking up, by the way. As casinos opened up there, so Goa is doing very well. And we had a slow start on south destinations like the Utis or the Coorgs, but that has also now caught up. So essentially, nearby destinations, which is metro or drivable distance from the metro cities. And then, it started with that early on, as the recovery was happening from wave two, but now it has caught up with all the hill destinations as well as beach destinations and, down south, pretty much across the country now.
Right. Maldives, of course, is now being called the new banana bread, right? And it becomes so common, and that was a joke on social media. Goa picking up. When did Goa ever fall out of season since COVID? And Rajesh, when I come back, we'll talk about Dubai, because now you have IPL that has ended, World Cup starting this weekend. You've got India-Pakistan match. But Devendra, good morning. Thanks for joining us here. We're talking to you after a long weekend. I'm sure you have $1 million smile on your face. Everything seemed sold out. From Delhi, if I wanted to fly to Manali, a one-way ticket was 40,000 rupees. What was this long weekend like? And are you, pretty much booked for the rest of the year?
So, thank you very much for having me on the show. Yes, at SaffronStays, we did see a fantastic recovery ever since the lockdown kind of phased out. But I must say that the revenge travel that we all see is accentuated by the fact that the country has seen some fantastic vaccination rates. I think the best economic stimulus that the hospitality industry could have asked from the government of India was a rapid vaccination of its population. And I can see that it's not just the staff of hotels and homestays like us, but it's also the guests who are now far more freer state of mind to take these decisions to travel across age groups. So yes, we had a fantastic weekend in the last the Sera weekend that we had right now. And yes, I must say that bookings for November, December have already commenced. Last time I was on the show, I think we just about started seeing a trickle, but we are hoping that this trickle becomes a flood consistently across all our destinations on SaffronStays. So we are looking forward to this economic stimulus that this government has given in the form of vaccination, and we're looking forward to this next couple of months.
Devendra, the other thing is that, WFH, work from home, was also being called work from the hills, right? All kind of abbreviations had come out. But now with offices reopening, the vaccination drive picking up, thank God there's been no third wave. Isn't this going to impact this hybrid work situation? Boutique hotels like yours, accommodations like yours being completely sold out through the year?
Yes, so earlier when lockdown had just opened, we noticed that trend of long stays, we noticed a trend of work from home. Now what we are seeing is that these long stays are no longer the norm. However, the mainstream demand has come back. And you would have witnessed the crowds at Mumbai and the Delhi airports, which were testimony to the kind of revenge travel that we're seeing. So honestly, one sort of a demand is being replaced by another sort of demand. Having said that, I must say that people earlier used to rush back home just in time, for the Monday morning meetings. But now I'm seeing the shoulders also pick up. When I say shoulders, it means not just the weekend, but also the Fridays or the Thursdays and the Mondays and the Tuesdays. Now that gives a business like a leisure business a tremendous impetus. And that has happened because of the structural change in the way customers or guests are thinking, because they no longer are prisoners of having to go back to the office on a Monday morning because they can take those meetings on Zoom, like all of us are right now taking, without any disruption. So there has been a secular impact of work from home on leisure destinations, and we're going to continue to see this happen.
Yeah.
Are you folks at MakeMyTrip also seeing this, where it's no longer about the long stay? If trends for offices are going back towards the pre-COVID levels, what is that going to mean for MMT, for the way you've been packaging staycations?
Yeah, no, to some extent, I would say, and I think it's early days. I actually believe that if there is one trend which is going to stay here, become maybe, as we start counting our new normals, etc., this might be one new normal, which will be a positive new normal that will be for the industry. And that is more because of this whole hybrid nature. See, even if people are coming back to work, but clearly not 100% by any stretch of imagination. So, and it's likely to continue for some more time. I mean, it's going to be hybrid. Especially people who've gone back to their hometowns and all, they're not necessarily sort of coming back. And and let's not forget, even the double vaccination population that is doubly vaccinated is about 30% right now. We still have to catch up on that. So I actually think that the organizations as well as employees' mindset is going to be far more towards even if I just go out and I do my vacation, like you said, the term like work from hills, you call it staycation, call it vacation, but that's likely to happen. And it's increasingly happening because during the weekdays the people just log in and they end up just doing their work morning, evening, and then have relaxed time in the evening. They're not necessarily in a hurry to come back. All in all, sort of productivity is not necessarily massively hit if you do it in a disciplined manner. So I actually think that it will be the emerging new trend, at least for some more time, and then that might be a year or 2 years till everybody sort of comes back to operating from offices 100%. That's definitely going to take some more time. I think the other interesting trend, as Devan was probably highlighting, and it fits in well for his kind of accommodations that he manages, is also the non-hotel secluded sort of alternative accommodation. So the villas and the all what you need is more the Wi-Fi that you need out there, maybe no frills attached to it, and a homely feeling sometimes with the home food and all. And then that is where you will just go and it suits your budget as well. So you will probably go and spend more time and operate from there. So not necessarily just only do holiday, but just do work plus holiday. And I think that's likely to be the case. But when this trend goes away or life comes back to 100% normal, which is like operating out of the physical world, then the mainstream demand will also be back.
Okay. Maybe then, Rajesh, we should take the opportunity and try to convince our bosses to let us go to one of these remote locations that you're talking about. But Devendra, coming to you on the demand scenario, and I take from what you've said that you're quite confident, you're quite bullish based on what you're seeing in the last few weeks. Do you have enough confidence then to expand your network, to grow the number of properties that you have?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of the things I must tell you that because of the kind of demand that we are seeing, a lot of supply is also getting unlocked. A lot of people who are on the fence, who are thinking twice whether they should unlock their second homes in the hills or Alibag or Lonavala or Goa, they are now thinking that this is a very wise option because there are credible, trusted players like SaffronStays who can take care of their properties. So that's one secular trend which is happening. Other thing is that we're noticing is that the real estate market, the second homes, is red hot. So that means a lot of new, high quality, brand new supply is also going to come in the next 1 or 2 years. A lot of investments are happening in second home real estate. That further deepens the market, broadens the market, and gives me tremendous amount of quality supply. And it's a chicken and egg. You get better supply, you get better demand. You get better demand, you get a better supply. It's a two-way street. And I foresee that this industry of vacation homes, of villas, and particularly operators like SaffronStays, will see over the next 2 or 3 years some sort of consolidation, some sort of maturity in the market. Two or three large players will emerge. There'll be a lot of M&A that happens. There'll be a lot of financial investment that goes into this space. So I'm very happy. I'm looking forward to the next 24 to 36 months. Very excited.
Well, I am as well. I'm looking forward to going to at least one of the locations that you gentlemen have spoken about. Devendra as well as Rajesh, thank you so much for joining in and for giving us that perspective. I think more than anything else, this particular sector is one that gives us the hope that things are